This is Spiritual Lifting with V. Let me get your soul swole. Today's topic, transitioning. I want to start with today's topic by saying peace and blessings throughout the world and the universe, sending out love and light and joy and harmony to everyone. Now, transitioning. When we're talking about transitioning, and I'm talking about going through the big life changes and shifting of energies. A lot of times in life, we deal with things that maybe seem like roadblocks, stoppages, blockages, a whole lot of different type of calamities. Just picked up a coin. And it's funny about this coin, let me stop for a second. It's 5. That's very good for me. We have to look at our lives. See, people want to go and they want to do all these changes and they want all these things to happen. And they're motivating and they're moving in a positive manner. And they're sending out tons of positive energy. And they have hopes and dreams, but it seems like things just kind of keep popping up and happening. They have a lot of snafus. They have a lot of mishaps. They have a lot of detours in their life. Well, one thing, let me explain. Those snafus, those mishaps, those detours are set forth to kind of get you to change your path. Those energies are trying to force you off your path. This is a very good thing because once those things start happening, it's a surefire sign that you're definitely headed in the right direction. Sometimes our destiny things, our life things can have that, can have this misplacement, this misdirecting. There are energies out there in this world that would very much not like to allow you to stay on the path in this existence, so that maybe in a next existence, or maybe not at all, those things ever happen, to keep you maybe from affecting or changing future things. I know a lot of people say, well, how is that possible? And maybe this doesn't exist. No, trust me, it all exists. All things are as they should be, but all things can be as they should be. And so we want to change in our lifetime, and we want to motivate in our lifetime to have fulfillment, complete and total fulfillment. Creator, thank you for this beautiful day. It's just so beautiful out here. So beautiful. Thank you, beautiful birds. So when we're transitioning and we're motivating and we're moving to a state of higher existence, that means our energy is shifting. And especially when you're dealing in the times like right now, there are a lot of events happening in the cosmos. There are a lot of energies shedding forth. We just had a comet cross our atmosphere. We have the sunspot that's pointed directly at Earth. We have solar flares coming, which are causing electromagnetic destructions, which then essentially affect us because we are electrical beings. Our brain is electric. Our body is electric. Hell, we're made mostly of water. And when you put water in motion, we are electric. So let's be electric and move forward. Let's be that thunderstorm. Let's be that lightning strike in life. We can't allow the disruptions and the mishaps and the things that may be seen as misfortunes, because they're not misfortunes. We have to run with these lessons, and we have to take ourselves to a higher place, and then we have to stay steady on the course. What is life without challenges, difficulties, or suffering? It's nothing, because it's those very things that allow us to triumph, that push us to a much higher level in this existence, that take us to a place where we definitely need to be. Without these things, these so-called roadblocks, these so-called stoppages, blockages, these things that may make us feel like we're never going to succeed or get there, or that it's impossible, or how can we do this? why me, there are things to make us sit back, stop, and think, regroup, and go forward. Now, transitioning these changes, whether small or minor, when they're taking place, we have to reacclimate ourselves to that. So, for instance, if you're working out, right? And this is just an example. And you've been doing it for months and months and months and months, and the muscle starts changing, it starts transitioning. Well, what happens during that time and that effect when the muscle's healing and getting itself back to normal? You know what happens? You get soreness, you get aches, you get pains, you get you don't want to get out of bed, you're dragging your body. Everything just seems ultimately extremely tough. But in the end, once you push through and you keep going and you keep working the muscle more and more, all the pains, all the aches, all the stress on the body start to stop and it starts to change. And then, like the lotus flower, it blossoms beautifully and you get this great end result. Never stop. Never stop when you're in this period of transition and change, because when you're in a period of transition and change, things seem confusing, right? When you're lifting and it's happening to the body's confused, like, what's going on? This wasn't happening to me before. The muscles are saying, whoa, I'm being torn, I'm being shredded, and I'm being ripped. And then it heals over, and then it's fantastically strong, beautiful. It has this endurance that it never had before. It's circulating the proteins, the hydrogen, the oxygen through the body. The body becomes thankful. The heart becomes thankful. The kidneys, the lungs, because you're using the whole body. So when you're transitioning, we must use the whole entire universe. We must use the universe. We must use the creator, the universe. We must use the universal energy. We must stay in a line, have our chakras in a line, have our souls and our spirits in a line, have our intentions in alignment. Never change. Stay steady on the course. There's no time for one-sided or other-sided or indecisiveness. Know what you want so you can know thyself. That's the funny thing about transitions. Transitions will make you question everything in the world, because when you're transitioning, you're essentially going into the X, the unknown. But that's beautiful, because inside that unknown is where the key lies. And so sometimes we are afraid to go into that unknown, because that unknown can seem like it's some proverbial darkness that may take us somewhere where we may not be comfortable. But we find the comfortability in the uncomfortability. We find the success in the lack of success, right? We find the happiness inside of the unhappiness, because these are the things that push us to look and search. So we must be strong. And we look and we search, and then we look deep inside of there, and there lies the solution. There are never problems. There are only solutions. The things that we perceive to be as problems become our solutions, because without these misdirections, these mishaps, these changes, we can't further change. We can't seek and find betterment. Inside of the imperfection lies the perfection. I know I had a week, maybe a week and a half, full of crazy incidences, and it just seemed like all of a sudden, boom, everything was just haywire. It was slapstick funny, and I just thought to myself, this is crazy. What am I doing? It wasn't what I was doing, it's what I wasn't doing. The mind got taken off, the spirit got taken off. The soul got taken off, of course. And I had to stop and start looking and saying, well, what is it potentially that I'm doing? But it was what I wasn't doing. I wasn't looking to the universe for the answers. I wasn't looking to the Creator. So when I did this deep dive and I was like, well, there's something that has to be actually going on, because everything was very smooth. And then I realized, well, what's going on in the cosmos right now? And I looked and I saw all these different many things and these different changes and transitions that our universe was going through, and these energies that were being blasted upon our earth. Okay, easily these things could take you off balance if these are discharges and things that are affecting the way that my electronics activate, and we are electrical beings. Again, if we're water and water flows, that creates electrostatic, and so this is just science and scientific fact. So I realized that electrically that I was being affected and thrown off, and once I started looking and I was like, man, okay, this is potentially why this imbalance is happening. And then as these things started to waver out and taper out, everything started getting back on course. Now that doesn't mean it's going to stop, because you still have the residual effects. You still have the residuals. But what it did do was it forced me to dig inside of myself and take a deeper look at my consciousness and what I was projecting out. My personal self-projection was being placed out there and projecting on others, projecting on myself, my situations, my life. And then I also, because this is happening on a whole, was having others' projections being projected on me in many different ways. And this was a profound thought when I got deeper into my consciousness, and I said, well, there's no wonder why any of the things are happening, why any of these things are taking place, why these mishaps left and right may be things that I don't necessarily want to be going on with me are going on. But what I am going to do is turn to the Creator, turn to the universe, and reassimilate my energies. And then internalize any of the things that I could improve and be better at, and perceive in a different way, and not let my own personal perceptions of the current situation affect me, and then ride the current to be effective. When transitioning in life and transitioning in anything that we do, whether that's work, family, love, personal, we must stay steadfast and strong. And then we must turn to the Creator for the guidance and advice. So the message can be downloaded from the cosmos, and the answers can be given to us. And then that way we can push forward. Remain in a state of unconditional love. Of course, in this life, when you're going through transitions, you're going to express anger, you're going to express periods of happiness, you're going to express joy. It's going to be like you're bipolar. You're going to be all over the place because you're transitioning. One minute it's all gravy and it's all beautiful and it's all good. The next minute it's all down. You're on this up and down roller coaster. But that's just it. That up and down roller coaster is called changes. And changes are transitions. And those many transitions are what lead you, if you stay on course, to a great outcome. Look at the world today, people. We have a lot of people talking about transitioning and transition and even reversing it, going into detransitions. And I'm not talking about one specific thing. I'm talking about life in general. forwards and backwards. We must go forwards. We must go forwards in life and transition and blossom into something beautiful. Imagine if and I'll use the example again, the lotus flower, it transitions on its own. It seeds itself and then it blossoms into this beautiful flower. Well, just imagine if it didn't. It got to a certain point and didn't seed itself. Well, then slowly and surely, and it didn't push through, and it didn't use the nutrients from the ground and go to its inner workings to produce that seed to grow and bloom, well then sooner or later the numbers would just go down and it would stop to exist. And we don't want to stop to exist. What we want to do is take that internal and blossom into something greater. Sometimes I think that, like, in this world that, and in our current times, you know, we're so worried about making this change and controlling every single outcome of man and controlling every single outcome of nature and controlling every single aspect of the universe, instead of just moving forward and allowing nature to be and allowing these things to take place in the way that they were meant to. Overthinking things and then getting ourselves into situations that only going to take us off course. There's no need to overthink. But there is need to stay on the course. Look, all we can do now is just really be thankful. Be thankful for every day. Be thankful for life. Be thankful for breath. Be thankful for existence. Because it's still a very beautiful place that we're in. How do you want to animate your existence? How do you want to take what you live and make it as beautiful as it can be, to shed that light and that energy upon everything else that's around you? We don't have to live in this destruction. We don't have to live in this hate. We don't have to live with inside of fear and fear mongering and whatever people may feel that their oppressions or distress are, by just giving unconditional love and having an open heart and an open spirit. People think that, you can't go through life and it just be this happy, beautiful existence all the time, but that's not true. You may have situations in life that you don't like or that upset you. Internally, does that mean that that you can't be happy? We're all going to go through situations. We're all going to go through challenges. We're all going to go through transitions in this life. But by going through these transitions in this life, we can get to somewhere greater by staying on course. All is not lost and all is not failed. So, I think in this time where there is all of this violence and all this confusion and all this what's right and what's wrong and who should control what, and we're not focused on the important things. We're not focused on joining and connecting humanity as one for the greatest outcome. Let's move in this life with an open heart and an open spirit. Less hate and more love. Now, I could have reached on so many different things about transitioning in life, but this is really based upon energy and the energies that we're outputting and that we're receiving in. And sometimes when things are going haywire, or we're doubtful, or we're fearful, or we think we just can't do it, don't think that. Sometimes the Creator is giving you exactly what you need. And if you've been lucky enough to have that one person that has been placed in your life to always be there for you, to always give you that love, to always give you that understanding, and even to always give you that challenge, be thankful. Because you never know when you may be that one thing, that one person, that one energy that actually can take them through their and walk with them through their transition while they walk with you through your transitions and elevate each other and them to the highest level they can be. And if you're on that trip solo, it's okay too, because the Creator is always with us. The universe is always with us. That highest energy source, that main line to your inner soul, spirit, and being, that's tapped in and plugged into those chakras, is always there with you. Have love, people. Have an open heart and an open spirit. Take yourself high as you can go. Go through those transitions in love. Again, if you've been fortunate enough to have that one person that never judged you, that's always there, and that always is looking to take themselves higher spiritually and be with you and be there for you, you are very fortunate. And you have been blessed deeply and greatly. And we can shed that kind of energy upon the whole entire universe and upon the whole world. Let's not give up. Let's not let go. Let's move forward together. If you've liked today's subject matter, leave a comment. If you had any opinions about today's subject matter, leave some comments. I always love correspondence. If you have any other topics that you would like me to reach on, let me know, and I'll be sure to talk about them. Life is a strange thing, and it's full of ups and downs and transitions and changes and challenges and roadblocks and snafus, trips and slips and falls. But we get back up, we stay on course, and we bound over those obstacles. Let's love each other, people. I think that there's always going to be a balance maintained in the universe. The light and the dark, the good and the evil, the light and the death, or the life and the death. But it still can be a beautiful world, and it still can be a place where we move forward together. Perfectly in an imperfect place. Because every day is not going to be 100%. But it can be the best day ever. And as always, the children are the future and we are the past. But by moving together through the transitions and being the strength and the rock for each other, we can all be the future. This has been Spiritual Lifting with V. Let me get your soul swole. Peace.